Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a little bit about my last week in games. As always, we'll start with EVE Online, and I think I played either an average amount of EVE Online or maybe even a little bit more than average, because I did some stuff on CC as well, including the second mass test for Into the Abyss. Which was quite interesting, but I didn't feel like making a recording of that one, because basically it's only you on the screen that is continuously running abyssal sites, and I in fact just grabbed as many tier 1s as I could within the hour that we wanted to do the test, just so that CCP would have lots of entering and exiting of the abyss from my activity there, which will hopefully help them with all the data that they needed for the performance of Into the Abyss. So there was tie-dye. There were, of course, I think like 260 people, something like that. I'm not exactly sure how many it were anymore, but definitely a decent amount of people that were running abyssal sites in a single system, which normally we won't have on TQ. Now on TQ, I did my usual stuff, kept up with the blueprint copy business. That is still doing okay, I would say. Sometimes I do get a lot of sales all of a sudden, but it might also switch, of course, when Into the Abyss comes and the new modules will come out. Then I do think that at least some of my contracts will be switched from blueprint copies to these new abyssal items, of course. Next to that, I also did my PI, nothing too special there. In fact, I'm still just building up on my planets at the moment. And for general activity, I did a bit of exploration, like almost every day in fact, and I found some more faction pieces. Just a couple that are worth a little bit, some like a remote rep and a rep that is quite high in value, but most of them just resistance modules that are not worth that much. Still, they're perfect items to gamble on with the new abyssal RNG system that will be coming with the expansion. That's really what I've been doing there, the exploration, just to get some more items to gamble on. Next to that, a little bit of mining as well. In fact, I've been very busy at my real life job. It's been quite tiring, and so I didn't always have the time to do a lot of extra stuff. I personally feel like I did a good chunk of stuff in EVE, but for everything else I just didn't play that much because I didn't have the energy. And then for the preparations, of course, next week Into the Abyss comes out on Tuesday, so I am going to do my best to run those sites, to get some Triglavian ships skills and all of that good stuff by myself, to see if we can maybe get some goodies as well from maybe some lucky items that we can create and things like that. So I've been doing my final preparations there. I've got a couple of sets of implants. I still have to buy the jump clone, but that skill is ending basically as I'm making this video. It should be within the next 24 hours. And I also prepared my ship. It's gonna be the Sacrilege, guys. I think it's going to be the best, just to get started and to get this stable base of running up to tier 3s. I think the Sacrilege is going to be my ship for that. And anything else I did, so we've got the implants, we prepped the Sacrilege, I've got all the missiles, got all the drones so that I can do the different damage types. And final thing that we'll need, of course, is a ship that can run data sites, because apparently CCP has switched from the tier 1 filaments being sold by Concord to the tier 1 filaments being very likely to only be found in data sites at this point. So that's the final thing that I still need to prepare. I do think that I've got a small exploration frigate lying around somewhere that'll do the job absolutely fine. Hopefully they drop from HiSec data sites. So that's the first thing I think that we'll test once Into the Abyss comes out next week. I personally can't wait, and I'm already planning to put quite a bit of time back in EVE Online. The focus is coming back for me towards EVE Online with the new expansion. Next up we have some World of Warcraft, but really not all that much. Mostly the maintenance modes that I'm doing at the moment, which is to run my emissaries so that I can eventually, with 1,000 of a certain currency, try to buy another legendary. Hopefully it's a good one, and then we can see what we can do with our gear. And on a couple of days I did find some time for some extra battlegrounds as well with Dagarn and Vobo. It's pretty cool, of course, to test out what we can do in battlegrounds, just to also try to play together a little bit, get the synchronization going, get the voice com going as well. We're always on Discord when we play together, and yeah, just basically have that group ready for Battle for Azeroth. 3 players is going to be nice for the island invasions normally in the new expansion, and then hopefully we get a couple of extra players that come in so that we can have a nice dungeon running group as well. That's basically our plan for the next expansion. Level up and then focus on activities that we can do together. We're not really planning, I think, to go too hardcore into like raids and things like that. Just the challenges that we can handle as a small group is what we're going to go for. And yeah, I do look forward to that expansion as well, to the pre-patch as well. But when it comes to the beta, I don't think, yeah, I didn't even patch the beta last week, so I didn't do anything there. It's just still my same mindset at the moment. I don't feel like I'm going to enjoy putting a lot of effort into the beta, just so that I have to put all that effort again when the expansion actually comes out. I'd rather spend this time on other stuff. Like last week it was mostly resting, because I did feel pretty damn tired, but then there's other games. There's EVE Online now. There's going to be 3 in a couple of weeks as well. I'm curious to see if there's anything interesting coming out of there, but I'm not a one game type of guy, and I'm not a 2 game type of guy either. It's not just EVE Online and World of Warcraft, although those 2 games are like a focus at the moment and do require quite a bit of time to make progress in. But I still want to have the time to do other stuff there as well. So that's what I'm focusing on when it comes to World of Warcraft at the moment. Just, you know, do the maintenance stuff and do stuff that I feel will still be useful when it comes to the expansion. So I'm earning some gold. I'm sometimes working a little bit on my professions. Didn't do that last week, but it's really about finding a certain schedule that I can fit in without it requiring all my attention, without it requiring me to drop other games that I might want to play, whether it's now or in the future. And since I was really quite tired last week, I didn't put more time into Factorio, but instead what I did is I jumped into a couple of games of Hearthstone, like 1, maybe 2 on a few evenings. Just start a solo adventure. I really personally like the Witchwood with the Tracker. That is super fun, especially when you can go for the Jade Golems there. That is absolutely enjoyable. But in general, there are 2 classes there that are really a lot of fun potentially, if you get the right guards and the right treasures early on, and that is the Tracker, and then the other one is the Time Tinker. Both of those have this very strong RNG vibe, but with the right treasure at first, that basically synergizes well with their hero power. You have so many options that you do feel very, very powerful. It's a lot of fun to try and basically tackle the puzzles that all the different bosses basically are when it comes to these solo adventures. That is, at the moment, if I'm like really not sure, low energy, what do I want to do for another hour or so, then for me it is a quick Hearthstone solo dungeon. At least that's what it was last week. Perhaps things will change next week, but next week, as I've said, big focus on the expansion into the Abyss. We'll see what we can do there. Hopefully it's gonna be a nice experience. That was it for this week, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.